in the vast and dark universe, where the light of billions of stars is but lonely dots of flame amidst the endless sea of night. There are planets that exist like nightmares which science has yet to explain. There is no breathable atmosphere, no life as we know it, only chaos, extremities, and phenomena that seem to defy every physical law humanity has understood. Their gravity can crush everything into dust. Winds can blow metal away, and time may flow in a completely different manner. Before these worlds, humanity is but a tiny creature lost in the game of ancient, indifferent cosmic forces. Watch until the end. We embark on a journey to explore extraterrestrial life, not in the form of friendly, blue-skinned beings, but the most terrifying planets ever discovered. If life exists there, it must have adapted to conditions so brutal that they are unimaginable. Or perhaps it is a form of life that we have never dared to envision. Located about 750 light-years away from Earth, TRES 2b was discovered in 2006 by the Transatlantic Exoplanet Survey. It is unlike any planet we have ever known. Not emitting light, not reflecting it, but swallowing it whole. TRES 2b absorbs more than 99% of the light from its parent star, making its surface darker than coal, darker than any natural object ever discovered in the universe. Scientists call it the darkest known planet, but more important questions remain unanswered. Why is it so dark, and what is happening in its atmosphere? Some astronomers speculate that the atmosphere of TRES 2b is filled with gaseous titanium oxide molecules, a substance that can absorb light as effectively as camouflage paint. But bolder hypotheses suggest that this planet might possess some form of optical concealment technology, like a planet-level invisibility cloak created by a super-advanced civilization. Imagine a colossal, completely black sphere, like a small black hole drifting through space, reflecting nothing, existing as if it were not even there. Yet twice the size of Jupiter. Such an object, if it drifted too close to the solar system, might go undetected until it's too late. With TRES 2b's eerie atmosphere and the possibility of alien life forms, we can imagine a truly bizarre form of biology, creatures of the dark, as if they stepped out of a Lovecraftian science fiction novel. They would have no eyes, as light has never existed in the place where they were born. Their bodies would be made of light-absorbing liquid tissues, constantly swallowing up every stray photon like the ocean swallowing a raindrop. Their biological structure wouldn't rely on photosynthesis, but instead might use an extraordinary energy source. Perhaps from subatomic reactions or some form of space-time oscillation that humanity has yet to discover. They communicate through low-frequency gravitational waves, oscillations. Nearly undetectable, traveling through the thick titanium oxide-laden atmosphere. These sounds would be the planet's underground symphony, slow, dark, and relentless, like a sigh stretching across millennia. They would not need to move as we do when they need to shift. They would fade from their current space and reappear elsewhere, as though not bound by the three-dimensional space we know, a phenomenon humans would call teleportation. Located 489 light-years from Earth, in the constellation Monoceros, there exists a world so extreme that even imagination can hardly comprehend it. Corot 7b, a super-Earth with a diameter 1.5 times that of our planet, is not a place suited for life as we know it. Was discovered in 2009 by the French-led Corot mission using the photometric transit method. This planet orbits its parent star at such a close distance that a year here lasts less than 20 hours. Due to tidal locking, one side always faces the star, creating a fiery hellscape with surface temperatures reaching 2,600 degrees Celsius, enough to melt and vaporize rocks. The strangest feature is Corot 7b's atmosphere. It contains no water, air, or clouds like Earth, but instead a thin vapor layer of rock vapor rising from the molten surface. Which then condenses and falls as lava rain. Imagine clouds, not of water, but of superheated granite, falling like molten glass from the sky. A lava rain cycle unlike anything seen in the solar system. The dark side of the planet, which never sees light, could be cold enough for its surface to freeze solid like steel. The temperature difference between the two hemispheres could reach thousands of degrees, creating supersonic winds carrying hot rock dust across the planet. Corot 7b stands as a living testament to the horrifying diversity of planets in the universe and makes us wonder, could any life forms somewhere call such a world home? Imagine silicate creatures, bodies composed of complex silicate minerals, capable of withstanding extreme temperatures and sudden pressure changes. They might directly absorb thermal energy from the molten surface or from chemical reactions between minerals at high temperatures. They might move by crawling or slithering slowly on the surface, or even float within the thick lava flows. They could sense even the smallest changes in temperature and pressure, allowing them to move to more favorable areas. They might have the ability to hibernate for long periods when conditions become too extreme. Perhaps the extraterrestrial creatures on Corot 7b have developed completely different biological mechanisms from any life forms we know on Earth. Hidden in the Centaurus constellation, about 434 light-years away from us, is a planet, or possibly an unimaginably huge object, called J1407b. It was first discovered in 2007 and analyzed further in 2012, when it was found to be the cause of a series of dimming events of the star V1400 Centauri. With an estimated mass 10 to 40 times that of Jupiter, J1407b could be a supermassive planet or a brown dwarf that never fully ignited, a failed star lost between the definition of a planet and a star. What truly makes J1407b a magnificent symbol of the universe is its ring system. More than 30 rings spanning nearly 120 million kilometers, 200 times larger than Saturn's ring system. A structure so grand that if J1407b replaced Saturn in our solar system, its rings would cover almost the entire sky of Earth, resembling the wings of an ancient god. Each ring could contain an amount of material equivalent to hundreds of moons. Some scientists hypothesize that the gaps in the rings may be evidence of moons forming, or even remnants from a massive collision, where an Earth or Mars-sized moon shattered into billions of pieces of rock and ice. These ancient structures may only exist for a brief moment by cosmic standards. Perhaps we are witnessing a fleeting moment in the process of planetary formation, or observing an ancient symbol that has died, slowly fading into the oblivion of space. A strange hypothesis about the life forms on J1407b is that they could be a form of energy or collective spirit, formed from the energy of the colossal collision that created the rings. They may not have a specific material form, but instead exist as complex energy fields interacting with ice particles. They may harness geothermal energy from inside moons, or absorb chemicals from frozen groundwater veins. They could develop specialized sensory organs to navigate the darkness and detect prey. In this scenario, we could imagine creatures similar to deep-sea organisms on Earth, adapted to extreme pressures, eternal darkness, and relying on chemical sources from hydrothermal vents to survive. And like many mysteries out there, J1407b raises a larger question: could such systems be where moons with life might form? Or could those shattered moons have once been home to civilizations, consumed by the death ring? Amid the endless darkness of the cosmos, the TRAPPIST-1 system captivates, not just by the number of its planets or their position within the famed Goldilocks zone, but by the relentless challenges these worlds face. Most notably, the fierce battle against the intense radiation from their host star, a small yet merciless red dwarf. In its early life, TRAPPIST-1 unleashed powerful bursts of ultraviolet and X-ray radiation. Streams of energy so fierce, they didn't merely illuminate, but tore through everything in their path. Though invisible to the human eye, these rays wield devastating power over planetary atmospheres, especially targeting light gases like hydrogen, the fundamental building block of primordial atmospheres. Like a cosmic storm stripping away fragile clouds, the star's radiation relentlessly blows away molecule by molecule, slowly robbing these planets of what might have been a protective shield for life. This phenomenon, known as hydrodynamic escape, a clinical term masking a dramatic cosmic struggle, reveals the sheer force of nature beyond control. After hydrogen layers are stripped away, a secondary atmosphere may begin to form a denser, richer cloak composed of carbon dioxide, water vapor, and heavier gases. Before us lies a stunning tableau of destruction and rebirth, death and life intertwined, raising urgent, haunting questions. Can this secondary atmosphere truly protect and nurture nascent life? In our quest to unravel the vast mysteries of the cosmos, telescopes serve as humanity's guiding eyes, piercing through the darkness to reveal worlds far beyond our reach. Among these cosmic treasures, The TRAPPIST-1 system, with its 7 planets orbiting a modest red dwarf star, has become a focal point in the search for life beyond Earth, a crossroads where science and philosophy intertwine. The Hubble Space Telescope began this journey by scrutinizing the planets TRAPPIST-1b and 1c. Its observations revealed an absence of thick, hydrogen-rich atmospheres enveloping these worlds. Instead, what lay beneath was a barren, rocky surface cold and isolated beneath the faint glow of their star. Yet hope flickers within the Goldilocks zone, the region just right for life. TRAPPIST-1e emerges as a promising candidate, potentially retaining a secondary atmosphere rich in carbon dioxide and water vapor, forming a protective shield that could nurture life. These discoveries transcend mere scientific data. They whisper tales of resilience and adaptability, of life persisting against the harshest odds. TRAPPIST-1e, a planet in the Goldilocks zone of the TRAPPIST-1 star system, stands out as a prime candidate for harboring life. But what makes this distant world a potential cradle for life? And could life here be anything like ours? Unlike what we know, life on TRAPPIST-1e may not be based on carbon, the fundamental building block of all life on Earth. Earth is just one example in this vast, endless universe. And on a distant planet like TRAPPIST-1e, life may have evolved using entirely different elements, such as silicon or sulfur instead of carbon. The beings on this planet might not have solid, bone-like structures like ours, but instead could be composed of flexible, adaptable components capable of reshaping themselves to fit their environment. Furthermore, these life forms could exist as plasma or gaseous entities with the ability to continually morph their physical structure. This makes them not just survivors, but masters of environmental adaptation, capable of protecting themselves from harsh factors like the intense radiation from their star, TRAPPIST-1. If they lack senses like ours, how might these creatures perceive the world around them? Life on TRAPPIST-1e may not rely on light to sense space. Life on TRAPPIST-1e could potentially use magnetic fields to navigate and interact with objects, creating a world that human senses cannot grasp. This form of connection might completely alter our understanding of life, as these creatures wouldn't need light or sound to see their world. Moreover, the adaptability of life on TRAPPIST-1e could surpass anything we know. their bodies might regenerate or repair themselves when damaged. Not through physical means, but via biological or electromagnetic mechanisms. They could thrive in environments that are far harsher than Earth, where intense radiation and extreme conditions might force their bodies to evolve or regenerate to survive. Their civilization might not resemble anything we're familiar with. Instead of relying on mechanical technology like us, they could develop biological or electromagnetic technologies, systems that don't depend on physical tools, but still sustain life and foster development. TRAPPIST 1E opens profound questions about life and extraterrestrial civilizations. Could life exist in ways we've never imagined? Amid the millions of stars scattered throughout the Milky Way, there is one special star known as Kepler 452, a small, distant point of light located about 1/800 light-years from Earth in the Cygnus constellation. But don't let the distance deceive you. This star holds the key to one of humanity's most fascinating journeys in the search for extraterrestrial life. It was discovered by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope, tasked with hunting for exoplanets outside our solar system using the photometric method. Kepler 452b is a planet orbiting the star Kepler 452, making it an exoplanet within this system. It is the first planet ever discovered to be located within the habitable zone of a Sun-like star. This special zone is where liquid water, living conditions, and biological processes could potentially form, just as they once did on Earth. Kepler 452b is about 60% larger than Earth, with twice the gravity. If humans set foot on it, every step would feel heavier. What would happen if life not only emerged but evolved here before Earth? Could a civilization have once thrived on this planet and now watches us, as if gazing at a past version of themselves? Or is Kepler 452b merely the silent remnants of a dream that perished millions of years ago, leaving behind faint signals, structures no one understands? As we gaze upon Kepler 452b, Earth's twin, a great question arises. Could life have taken root there? With conditions similar to early Earth millions of years ago, we can't help but imagine the wondrous possibilities it might harbor. The surface temperature of Kepler 452b is estimated to range from 22 to 27 DC, much like Earth's climate during the time of the dinosaurs. The perfect temperature for life as we know it to take root and thrive. The gentle warmth, not too harsh, covers the planet like a soft blanket, inviting life from its primordial seeds. Kepler 452b might have a thick atmosphere, the ideal condition for liquid water to persist, fostering a rich biological cycle. With oceans possibly covering most of its surface, a landscape reminiscent of early Earth might unfold. Vast waters, islands, or great continents shrouded in cosmic fog. Could something be rising from the depths, like Earth's first life forms, seeds of a civilization yet to develop? However, all these conditions are just a short step away from the greenhouse effect, one of the most fragile boundaries between a habitable paradise and a second Venus. A planet too close to its star, and life could quickly fall into an irreversible state, like the scorching Venus. Has Kepler 452b managed to maintain its environment? Or has it spiraled into an inescapable cycle? Kepler 442b, like a planet still hiding its secrets, might harbor the potential for a unique form of life, something different from what we know. We only need one more breakthrough to discover that we are not alone in the universe. If Kepler 452b truly harbors liquid water, the essential element for life as we know it, it opens up a grand possibility. Life could not only emerge, but may have developed in ways beyond our imagination. Its gravity, twice as strong as Earth's, would force any evolving life forms to have sturdy, low bodies with thick bone structures and resilient muscles to cope with the constant pressure. In that world, tall creatures would collapse under their own weight. Height would not be an advantage, but a danger. They might not be tall like humans, but short, stable, with strong legs and thick skin to endure the harsh conditions. Their joints would be short and tight, minimizing damage from movement. Perhaps they wouldn't even have bones as we do, but a frame of flexible, durable muscle fibers. The thick atmosphere would not only help retain heat, but also act as a gigantic armor, blocking harmful cosmic radiation. Therefore, if life exists on land, it wouldn't have to hide underground or live nocturnally as life on Mars might. In the oceans, we might imagine a vibrant world of life, bioluminescent sea creatures moving with soft, tentacle-like arms, communicating not through sound, but by flashing lights or electromagnetic waves. Much like Earth's giant squid, but with intelligence that evolved in its own unique way. With light from an older star, Kepler 452b, the light spectrum could have shifted to red or orange. This leads to another unusual prospect. Plants would no longer be green, but might be purple, deep red, or even black, absorbing energy from wavelengths that Earth plants cannot use. The forests of Kepler might be forests of darkness, adapted to gravity and dim light. The thick air and high pressure open the possibility for flying creatures with strong wings, not delicate like birds, but more like insects, moving gracefully in the dense atmosphere. Flying in such an environment is difficult but feasible, and creatures there may have evolved to exploit this as an advantage for travel or hunting. If any civilization ever lived here, they wouldn't speak like we do. For planets lack the physical structures like vocal cords or tongues to produce sound or language. In the thick atmosphere, sound travels slowly and distorted, but light and electromagnetic oscillations are strong. Life on this planet wouldn't be a mere copy of Earth. It would be an entirely different chapter in the book of the universe. A foreign biological language, a type of intelligence we may never have known. In the endless search for a second Earth, we have turned our gaze to many places, from the freezing deserts of Mars to the deadly heat of Venus and to distant exoplanets light years away. But among the thousands of alien civilizations, Kepler 452b still stands out as a promising candidate. Mars, our cold red neighbor, may have once had oceans and an atmosphere. But today it's a barren world, ravaged by radiation without the magnetic field to protect it, and almost no warmth to maintain liquid water. Meanwhile, Kepler 452b, with its temperate climate and the right amount of radiation from a stable sun, seems to have retained what Mars has lost. Venus, the bright mirror in the night sky, is an inferno with a thick atmosphere full of sulfuric acid. If Kepler 452b truly has a thick atmosphere, it could be a Venus not yet risen, where life still has a chance to develop, rather than being burned to cinders. Among the thousands of exoplanets discovered, like GJ1000 and 2b or K272e, few planets offer the balance of Kepler 452b. Not too small, not too hot, not tidally locked, and its host star, Kepler 452 AG type of star like our Sun, but older and quieter. This makes its planet stable for long periods, enough for life and evolution to reach a complex level. We've witnessed planets where rocks burn into molten rain, where death rings could swallow an entire planet. And the question still lingers in the vastness of space. If in just a few decades of study we have discovered such bizarre planets, how many more mysterious worlds are silently waiting to be revealed out there? And perhaps deep within the boundless depths of the infinite universe, life, whether strange or primitive, silently exists, waiting for a day when we can discover, recognize, and understand forms of life beyond our imagination. We have only just begun this journey, and the universe with all its mysteries is still waiting for us to explore further. Thank you for staying with WUFO Space until the very end of this journey through the vast universe. If you found this video interesting and insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WUFO Space so you won't miss our next cosmic adventures. Your support means the world to us and fuels our passion to keep exploring the wonders beyond.